All right, it's time for another episode of Random Theology, but first, how you guys doing? If you guys are new to the page, my name is Andrew Damon, and on this page we talk about biblical theology from a Reformed perspective. Now, this will be the third video that I've done in this series, in which I put a blindfold on, I go into my library of theology books right here off camera, and we choose a random book, turn to a random page, put that page in its context, and that will be the lesson for the day. And just like last time we discussed, when I'm done reading from that particular book for that particular video, I put the book back in the library just so it can stay a part of the options. All right, let's do it. Can't see anything. I don't know what. Okay. All right. Just like last time, we're going to put the book behind me so I know I'm in line with the camera, okay? This is kind of where we're at. Spine is on this side. Cover is right here. This is what we're looking at. All right. Random page. Page 206 and 207 of the London Baptist Confession of Faith. Okay, so last episode we did the Westminster Confession of Faith, Truths We Confess, and that was actually in the back row, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I see it sitting right there, and I chose from the front row this time at random. This is the book that we chose. All right, so let's read from it. This is in this particular context, it is of justification. God has chosen to justify us by faith, not because of our inherent virtue in our faith, but because faith looks outside of itself to the righteousness of another. B.B. Warfield writes, "It is not strictly speaking even faith in Christ that saves, but Christ that saves through faith." And this is very true. I mean, when it comes down to it, it is because of God's grace that He has extended to us, that He gives us salvation through the action of faith in which He enables us to do, that we are saved. Faith is merely what gets us to God. It's not faith itself that saves, it's God that saves. But we need to have that faith in the God that saves to be saved. Does that make sense? Christ has not chosen to save us through faith because it is morally superior to other virtues, but because the very nature of faith is simple receptivity. We put a gift into a man's hand rather than his ear, not because the hand is better than the ear, but because the hand is the member most adapted to reception. God chose faith to be the instrument of our justification, not because of its moral superiority, but because of its humble receptivity. Arminians assert that the moral lapses of the believer require the renewal of our justification, and that continuation in a justification or justified state is contingent on a continued obedience. The root cause of our tendency to look to evangelical obedience as if it were at least part of the righteousness put to our account is pride. Thinking that grace could not be proud, we found that a man may be proud of his grace. As Gurnall points out, there is nothing that Christians hath or doth, meaning have done or will do, but this worm of pride will breed in it. Often this pride puts on the guise of humility. This is done in two ways. One, when poor sinners shrink back from embracing the righteousness of Christ offered in the gospel due to a sense of their own unworthiness, their apparent humility is often a cover for their pride. And number two, others of you, having believed some time ago, now are despondent. Why? All of your joy has run out through the cracks of your imperfect performances. Your soul is so dry, your walk is so uneven, and you fall so short of God's law. There you sit at the gospel feast Christ provided, yet you do not know whether you dare eat. Why? Beneath your professed humility lurks pride. If you could pray without wandering, walk without limping, and believe without wavering, then you would be happy. Because of that subtle desire to derive comfort from your own performances, you hold back from receiving it purely from Christ. Don't do this! Exclamation point. Cease from your efforts to find solace in your own behavior. Enfold yourself in the righteousness of Christ alone. Do not rob Christ of the glory due only to Him. 1 Corinthians 1:30 through 31. So that's great. That's the perfect explanation of why we are saved by God through faith and not saved by faith. We're saved by God. Faith is merely the avenue to get us to God. All right, so back in the library that goes. I'm also receiving another book from a friend of mine, Gavin. Go follow him if you don't already. He puts out great theological stuff. And it's going to be added to my library here soon. So I will have 66 books in my pile. If you guys are interested in sending me a Reformed theological book, something that maybe I haven't read or don't already own, please feel free to reach out to me. We can work that out and kind of go from there. Well, hopefully you guys learned something. Have a great rest of your day.